How are you handling loading states in your SwiftUI buttons? Are you adding a state is loading, disabling the button, swapping in a progress view every single time? It works, but it's repetitive and easy to mess up. In this video, we'll build one reusable loading button that handles async await properly, prevents double taps, and keeps your layout stable. Clean, simple, done right. And if you want me to mentor you, go ahead and check out the first link down in the description. Now today, we are going to talk about the loading button. What does that actually mean? Well, whenever you tap on a button and some asynchronous code is being done under the hood, it takes time. And what we need to do is, instead of maybe disabling the button, we would just want to have some sort of a progress. And that's what we are going to add, a progress view instead of our button. Now, this is what we are going to build out today. So we have this button, and after 2 seconds, it will just come back. So save changes, we tap on it, this progress view appears, something's going on in the background, and then that button appears again. So this is what we're going to build out today. And we are going to do that. I just prepared here something, just a VStack and this loading button. It's an empty file. So let's just build it out. First of all, we want to import SwiftUI, of course. And we are going to do basically a custom view. It's going to be a struct, of course, called maybe loading view. There we go. And we are going to actually we are going to add in the label of this button, not loading view, loading button. I just realized it is not just a view, any kind of view, it's a button. So we're going to declare our label lies over here. It's of type view, and all of this is of type view. Okay, the body, it has been added in, it's fine. So what do we need as properties? Well, the action of the button and the label. So I'm calling action because usually when we create our, simple SwiftUI buttons also have the action as first and then the label second. And I'm going to make these private. So private let action, and that will be an async completion handler, so void over there, and it's private because I'm going to create also a custom initializer for it. So private let action, and then private let label, and that will be again a completion, but now it's going to return a label. Let's create our initializer over here. So init, let's just see if auto completion made it correct. Of course not, but we are going to fix it. So let's just have that on 2 lines. And I believe the only thing that's wrong over here, that this should not be a view, if it should be of type label. And basically that's it. The initializer should work fine now. Okay, quick note. If SwiftUI feels almost clear, but you're not 100% confident you could explain it calmly in an interview, that's totally normal. That's actually what I help with in my mentoring. We work one-on-one on real SwiftUI topics, state management, architecture, property wrappers, using your code, not random textbook demos. If you'd like clearer thinking and faster feedback from someone who's been doing this for years, you can check it out at rebeloper.com/mentoring. The link is down in the description. So let's create our custom button over here. So basically I'm going to create a use button with an action and a label. And let's take care of the action first. So first of all, we want to see if the action is basically loading or not, or taking place, that task that takes a while. So I'm just going to add another private variable. This time it will be a state variable. So at state private var is loading. There we go. And by default, we are going to set this to false. Of course, we don't want to show the progress view by default. So if it's not loading, the button should do nothing. We're going to have some other mechanisms to avoid this, but it's always a good thing to guard against it on the actions to so card if it's not loading, else we want to return. So this stage, we already know that we may complete the action. We are going to set is loading to true, and then we are going to create a task. So task await the action, and then we're going to set is loading back to false. Okay, so basically that's the whole thing. The actual thing that this button will do will be provided by the loading button. So that's why we are using the action right over here. Okay, so that's our buttons action. Now it's time to, before we go into the label, let's also disable this button. Disabled is loading. So we want to make sure that it is disabled. Of course, we are going to have the UI, the label of the button will be different according to the is loading state, but you should actually disable it, because even if we can't see it, if we have only a progress view, it will be also tappable. So the action will be run over here. Of course, we are guarding against is loading, but anyways, we want to disable it if it is loading. And then let's just have maybe a Z stack over there. And, this varies from your taste, but I like to have the width of our buttons to be infinity. So frame max width dot infinity. Basically, this pushes out all the way to the edges as much as that button can, and also add a padding of vertical 14. Again, this is optional. You are going to create your buttons here to your own taste. Now, one thing that you must add here is the label. So label, this one. And also, I would recommend, so you could just add an if-else statement right over here, like if is loading, we want to put our progress view over here. And then you might be tempted to add the else over here and add the label into the else. Now, this is a bad idea because the progress view also has its bounds, and whatever label you add in there also has most probably different bounds. So you want to keep those bounds, because otherwise other views will just animate in and out to adjust to the new progress views bounds. So that's why I have the Z stack, and on top of the label line, if it needed, I'm going to present the progress view. And on the label, I'm just going to say, just change the opacity. So opacity is loading, question mark, 0, and then 1. Maybe you do want to set not to 0, like half, but that's going to just overlay the progress view on top of some text maybe. That's why I chose a 0 by default. Again, this is just a structure. You may just, tweak it to your own needs. The whole logic hopefully is clear by now. So now we can just use this on the content view right over here. Let's just have some more space for the preview provider too. And what I'm going to do is just add a loading button, the one with an action and a label. And for the action, let's just take care of that first. I'm just going to wait for 2 seconds. Try await task.sleep for dot seconds and 2. And then maybe just print out like done. Okay. And then on the label, this could be anything. I'm just going to have a little bit of styling over here because I like this type of button. So text of maybe save changes, and then font.headline, there we go, font.headline, foreground style of white, and then frame with a minimum width of infinity. Come on, infinity, if I could just type that out correctly, infinity. Let's also have a padding. We do have a padding inside the loading button, but I found this to be a little bit nicer. And then a background, so we can see the actual changes. So background, there we go, background. And then let's just have a rounded rectangle with a corner radius of 12. And let's fill that. Fill with dot blue. Okay, so yeah, let's just wait for this to reload, maybe. Let's just see it. The preview provider is broken. Let's just see if I can just remove the canvas and add in the canvas again. Okay, something's wrong over here. Let me just build and run basically, because I already have that the simulator open. And it seems like it's broken over here too. Let me just go into the loading button and check the initializer. Yeah, so we actually need a view builder right over here. So add view builder. Okay, and that should fix it. Fingers crossed. Let me just go into the content view. Let's see it. I'm going to basically, let's see, let's stop this. We no longer need the infinity over here. There we go. Oh, let's put it back. Why not? Because I liked it. Okay. Oh, that was removing it. Okay, so blue over here, and then let's just remove this part. Okay, so now we have the save changes, and then if we tap on it, we have this nice progress view, and after 2 seconds, it comes back again. For some reason, that max width of infinity was giving us trouble. I don't actually know how and why it made it disappear, because yeah, most probably in the first case, it's just going to squash it in to the minimum size, because we are inside the Z stack. Anyway, this is a custom label that we have added over here. And if we tap on the actual button, we have a progress view. And after the task has completed, it comes back to the enabled button. And if you like this type of tutorial and you want me to help you with your SwiftUI code, go ahead and check out the first link in the description. You can meet me on a one-on-one Zoom call.